Why so many capable women are feeling behind? I've been noticing something really interesting. Some of the most respectful, hardworking women I know, they always feel like they are behind or they are not enough. So I was wondering if maybe it's the way we look at things that it make us to feel that pressure. The pressure of always need to improve. Wherever we go, wherever we see is we need to be more productive, more healthy, more fit, better time management. And the list can go forever. Okay? We always have to do better. But that is a constant thing we have in our mind, like that thought in our mind, that basically we start believing into that lie. Even though we know inside our hearts we are trying really hard to be better every day. But because we have all those things around us reminding or saying to us like we are not capable or we are not enough, then we start to believing. And that is a problem because when we start to believe something that we know is not true, but everybody else is pointing and say it is true, then that becomes our new reality. I will be honest with you. I have those kind of thoughts too. And when that hit, let me tell you, it is real. And then it comes the comparison. I think this is the worst one. The comparison one is because we are comparing ourselves or that specific time in our life to somebody else without knowing anything about that person. So let's say if we see somebody who is confident, okay, and all put it together, we are thinking that person born like that. But reality, we don't know that. We don't know how many years. We don't know it took her to be like that, or we don't know how many things she had to go through to get to that point. So the comparison is evil because we don't see the truth behind it. The only thing we see is a glimpse of it, is what people are showing you in front, but we don't know how that person got there. Especially now, because now we have so many influencers telling like how they changed their life in 2 months. When we know it's like, come on, I'm trying to do something like that for like, I don't know, 2 years. Of course you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel like a failure. Why? Because this other person is telling you something that is not realistic. So that's why we need to be careful with comparing ourselves with another person because we never know what is the truth behind it. And everybody has their own path. And life is not a competition. So you should not look at it like that. All the things we are experiencing, like at that moment, is because maybe we need them. We always have an opportunity to learn from any occasion. I remember older people always give this advice, and sometimes we are like, oh yeah, it's, I know about that, things like that, but we don't apply it. Because if we start looking possibilities or looking situations into a learning experience, then we will find the things why we passed through that experience or what happened at that specific situation that helped us to become better. Maybe better listener, maybe better understanding other people, maybe better compassion to our own self. I think a lot has to do with timeline. Every time we think about a timeline, like we need to have our life figured out based on that. That is not the reality. Because what normally they expect from us is to have a career, to figure it out relationship, to figure it out the next path we're going to have. But reality, that is not real. Life doesn't work like that. Life comes in seasons, and those seasons are different, okay? So let's say maybe you are in a growing season, like you are finish up a degree or you are doing something in the school. Sometime is you are going through a difficult time, and that, let me tell you, is a difficult one, because that is a season where you just surviving. Sometimes we have to look things in a different way. Sometimes, instead of thinking like I never will be available to do that, you have to be like, okay, what are the things I can do today that is going to help me to get closer to that goal? So that's how small steps help us to get what we really want. So this idea that one day we're going to wake up and, have everything figured out is wrong, because that is not a reality. I remember when I saw that the 75 hard challenge. Okay, so you're supposed to be do 5 rules, and I remember I saw it and I like challenges. So I say, yes, fine, I can do this. Okay, first week I fell. That's the reality. So what I did instead, I created my own rules using that, but I created what I could do. Of course, challenging a little bit more, but I did it based on my needs and based on what I could do. So that way I didn't feel frustrated, because I was progressing, and then little by little you move up. When you start a new job, you don't go as a manager the first day. Well, if you are applying for a manager, yes. But let's say a kid who is starting their career, they clean the tables first, and then they go, little by little, climbing up the position, right? So the same thing is in here. We expect so many things, and we don't even know if those expectations is what we really wanted it in the first place. And I love this part where people are becoming who they meant to be, because I see it. I see the signs. I see people that finding their true purpose in life. And I think that is amazing, because we can create better things, if everybody is aligned with what they need to do, and instead of being angry because they hate to be in a place, and then it happens like you have to shop in there every day, and then you have that kind of feeling all the time, So sometimes when we look like we are not enough, we need to stop, breathe, and start analyzing your season, what season you are in. And that will give you the clue to what you need to do for the next season. If you've been feeling lately you are behind, I want you to think with me. And instead of saying you are behind, say to yourself you are in the middle of a process. And middle of the process, it means messy. It may look slower than other people, but that doesn't mean you are behind. It means you're still becoming. So remember, love, reset, and glow. See you next time.